What's up, everybody? Jacob here with Mystery Arts Inc., taking you further, faster in the mystery arts through in-depth product reviews, resources, and random rants and raves. Thank you again for tuning in. Today I want to go ahead and tackle one of the big subjects that I think is a little subject in mentalism. And that is, oh, you guessed it, playing cards in mentalism. Let's get into it right now. Playing cards, mentalism, mind reading, psychological illusions. I think these are a bizarre thing to talk about because for me, this is how I started with the playing cards. For me, it's just a lot. I think that they work phenomenally well in mentalism, and I think they work phenomenally well in general in all aspects of the mystery arts. Whether you be a hypnotist that wants to add something extra, and maybe you're doing a memory forgetting demonstration that you want to be surefire, a magician that wants to start adding in a little mind reading effects to what they do, a mentalist that just wants to do a memory demonstration or a mass mind read, a tossed out deck, playing card and cardomancy readings. I don't see the big deal is how I'll preface this. Let's talk about some of the cons first off of these guys in mentalism first. Big con is a lot of people, when you pull these out and you have them take a card or something, they think magic trick. Some people, that's a really bad thing. Some people don't care. Some people, it's a really good thing. To me, I think the key difference between that and this is framing. I think the second con, really, with playing cards is going to be the oversaturation and people doing mental magic as mentalism, which, don't get me wrong, I have a version of the Biddle trick that I still perform occasionally when I just want something fun to do that straight up is mental magic. But it's not the only thing I like to do that's mental magic. The difference between the two essentially is mentalism could be, in my opinion, perceived as real versus mental magic, it's not as much. And there's visual color changes, things like that. Third issue I think a lot of people have is a lot of magicians trying to do mentalism and doing it really badly, and I've seen this quite a bit. I don't think all magicians do it badly. Dan Harlan, in my opinion, he does a comedic mentalism performance, and I think he does it really well, for example. I've seen him do so much mentalism, it's crazy. Some I think he does really well, some I think he does okay. It just really depends on the performer itself, or himself, or herself, or whatever, I guess, itself is okay in 2018. Let's go ahead and think about some of the ways to solve these problems. First off, Fraser Parker, Peter Turner, Kenton Nepper, Ross Taylor really hit this home. Ross, not quite as much, because he's a gambling expert as well, and that fits in perfectly with the character and what he does in general. But with someone like Fraser that's pure mentalism, he has a very nice framing. These are, they got from Kenton, essentially, and he's refined. To him, this is a book of symbols, numbers, pictures, and widely known and associated images to form a mental connection. Paraphrasing there, but once again, it's a very nice frame. One of the frames I like to use quite a bit is I say, well, the way I look at this is like a picture book. In other cultures, this is known as the devil's picture book. There are places, and there used to be places, even England, used to be banned to have playing cards, because these are actually the granddaddy to the tarot cards. Cardomancy actually predates tarology. Think about it. There are 52 cards in a deck, correct? And there's 52 weeks in a year. There's 4 seasons in a year, and there's 4 suits in a pack. And if you add up all the little spots actually on the cards, they come out to 365. just slightly above a year. 13 lunar cycles, 13 suits. What we have here is a calendar and a constantly mixing range of possibilities to explore and project our intuition upon. That framing might not work for you. It doesn't matter. That's just what I like to do. Sometimes I'll even go in and explain that. Sometimes I just pull the cards out and say, let's try something interesting. I think a good portion of it too is people take cards out versus people think of cards is a big differentiating factor too. Some of the best mental card forces, the best out there in my opinion, is going to be the Reframe or King's Force by Ross Taylor, and Fraser's worked and come up with his own ideas on it too. I still like Ross's original handling. It can be found in Rapture and Ross's works in a few different places by the two, but it's really great, really deceptive. I fooled magicians with it actually numerous times, and it's great because you can get 2 cards out instead of 1 if you want to. I really think that playing cards are one of those really great things that people just overlook, or they worry too much about the association they have with magic. Another thing I think is really important is establishing by doing some other things that aren't related to cards to start that you are a mind reader, a mentalist, or whatever you're going to say you are. It's important to establish first off by doing something completely uncard related to show that you aren't just a magician. Another big way to save yourself from that magic association, if you don't want that, is stop fucking flourishing. I'm guilty of it too. I try and do nothing but this, and I try and make it look really like it's hard for me to do. I fall into the trap sometimes of doing this stuff. I mean, you've probably seen me do it once in this video. I'm sure I'll watch back and see myself doing that. The important thing is to consciously try and stop yourself from doing it. And it's hard to do. I struggle with it sometimes. You know, occasionally, I'm sorry, I like doing that kind of stuff. But that actually looks better than what happened where I dropped all of them than catching it if you're going to do it in a mentalism style performance. And now I made a big fucking mess here. Next point. Don't use card clips. I think one of the best tidbits on card mentalism that Bob Cassidy gave off was he would walk out with a pack of cards, and they were aviator cards. These are bicycle elites. These look close enough to what people have in their drawer or whatever because they look exactly like normal bikes, but obviously much nicer stock, so you can do your ferro work, things like that. Even as a mentalist, I do ferro work because I think it's that deceptive. I think it's that great. There's nothing like setting an any card any number up where you ferro the cards, leave them spread on the table, or, you know, in my case, push them on the table so they look mixed, and you have them push the cards together. After they square them up themselves, they name their number or whatever, and they deal down, and boom, there it is. I think A-Can's a very good premise still for mentalism because it can be elaborated and changed in different ways, whether you want to make it a memory demonstration you pass the power, or an intuitive demonstration, or just a strange coincidence that you've somehow been able to find the right people to do. I think that the card clips, things like that, just show too much fat fixation of the cards. They need to be in good condition to do things with. Using that rubber band, or maybe keeping them like Pete does in a nice little velvet bag, just makes them more interesting. It takes the heat away from them. Actually, in the rubber band example, makes them less interesting. Things like that. If you treat them like a reader treats their tarot cards, then typically they will be given the same kind of framing, in my opinion, especially if you do some cartomancy readings for people, or routines like getting to know you, and so on and so forth. I think another important thing to point out here is it's good to take mediums such as card tricks, take them out of the context of card trick, and do them with things like business cards, or billets, whatever you want to call them. There are so many great card tricks out there. If you do them with billets or a piece of paper, they're better. Take, for example, what Colin MacLeod did in Remember Me. Still a magic-y, mental magic effect in a way, but with the right blocking, it can become fully a memory erase or memory change demonstration if you hide a little bit in it. That's the tip I'll give for the handling I have. Someone good to look into for a resource on this particular subject is going to be Pablo Amira and his B cards. Great book, available at Mentalism Center. I'll link it down below. That's a phenomenal resource to take some of these card things you do, such as A-cans, things like that, attribute them to business cards, and they become far, far separated, in my opinion, in that frame from traditional card magic or card tricks. Finally, I think a good way to fix this problem is choose your effects wisely. Don't do 3 or 4 card effects in a mentalism set if that's really a big issue to you and you think the playing cards and mentalism won't go together. Or if you're just somebody that's completely against it and you might want to challenge your opinions, just throw one in. But choose your effects and structure wisely. I do typically introduce cards while doing a memory effect, because I've got a memorized stack in my head and I've got the ability to set it from a freshly shuffled deck while apparently having it randomized. Thank you, Patrick Redford and the Redford stack for that. And then I'll do the memory effect, I'll leave it sit there, and then later I'll do maybe like para-optic vision, something along those lines. I have a handling of it that I like to do a lot. It's a combination of Doc Hilford as well as Richard Osterland's approach to that said piece. Once again, the final things I'll say here, find your own way. I know I say it every video we talk about like this, but really, it doesn't matter what other people are doing if they're not doing what you want to do. Darren Brown does card tricks on television, and it kills with it. He does it for celebrities, and they look phenomenal, and they don't look that magic-y at all. I think it's important that you discover your way, figure out what's right for you, go with it. Don't worry about what other people are debating about, because opinions are a lot like they all stink and everybody has them. Thank you again for watching and tuning into Mystery Arts Inc. Subscribe down below. Hit that like button if that's your prerogative, but definitely share the love if you found something useful or a interesting point in here. Some of the resources talked about in this video will be linked down below, and please, I look forward to seeing you again next time. This is Jacob, tuning out.